Hi guys, I'm Tivanny Meilina and my partner is Aisa and Dewi Sari, and we were talking about the short story The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. And the contents we were talking: first, biography of the author; second, synopsis; third, elements of the Cask of Amontillado; and fourth, some of the issues in this work are based on the way world literature is read. Biography of the author. Edgar Allan Poe was born in January 1989, Boston, Massachusetts, United States, and died October 7, 1849 in Baltimore, Maryland. American short story writer, poet, critic, and editor who is famous for his cultivation of mystery and the macabre. Within 3 years, both of his parents have passed away. Poe was brought in by tobacco merchant John Allan and his wife Frances Valentine Allan in Richmond, Virginia. Meanwhile, his brothers and sister went to live with other families. In 1826, Poe left Richmond to attend the University of Virginia, where he did well in his class but was heavily indebted because Allan was underfunded at school. Then Poe was forced to drop out of school and return to Richmond. When he was only 18, Poe published his first book, Tamerlane. After that, he enlisted in the United States Army. 2 years later, he entered the United States Military Academy at West Point while continuing to write and publish poetry. At the age of 27, Poe brought Maria and Virginia Clem to Richmond and married Virginia, who was not yet 14. And in the winter of 1847, Virginia died of tuberculosis at the age of 24. Her death crushed Poe and left him unable to write for months. He returned to Richmond in the summer of 1849 and reconnected with his first fiancée, now widowed Elmira Royster Shelton. They got engagement and intended to get married in Richmond after Poe returned from a trip to Philadelphia and New York. On his way to Philadelphia, Poe stopped in Baltimore and disappeared for 5 days. Neither Poe's mother-in-law nor his fiancée knew what had happened to him until they read about it in the newspaper. Poe died on October 7, 1849, at the age of 40. The exact cause of Poe's death is still a mystery. Second, synopsis. Due to Montresor's long-standing hatred for his friend Fortunato, the former decided to kill the latter. Montresor could no longer endure the injury and humiliation of his friend, so he planned to lure Fortunato into the catacombs where Amontillado supposed pipe, a type of wine, was there. Montresor requires Fortunato's expertise in wine, which is also Fortunato's weak point. When they were hidden, Montresor buried Fortunato alive. In fact, the murder took place 50 years ago, and today Montresor tells readers in first-person narrative.
And the next element of short story: characters. There are two characters, namely Montresor and Fortunato. Montresor is protagonist and Fortunato is antagonist. For setting, place in Montresor's house in an Italian city. Time is evening when carnival season. Weather conditions is fine. Social condition is good. and mood or atmosphere is Montresor feel revengeful, while Fortunato is his usual happy self. For plot introductions, at the start of the story, Montresor narrates how he has suppressed his anger towards Fortunato due to the thousand injuries, but when he is already insulted, Montresor wants revenge. Rising action. One evening, Montresor invites the drunk Fortunato to his big house where there is nobody else, because he lead his attendants he have the night off. He went Fortunato's expertise in wine to check the supposed Amontillado in his extensive vault. In the climax, the story is at its peak moment with Montresor starts to cover the niches entrance with Fortunato in the following action. When Fortunato realizes he is trapped, his drunkenness seems to leave him, and the denouement or resolution, things resolve when Montresor cannot hear anymore Fortunato's sharp cries, and when he calls out Fortunato's name, there is no answer. For point of view is the point of view used in this short story is the first person. The story is told by the protagonist or one of the characters who interacts closely with the protagonist or other characters, using pronouns I, me, we. The reader sees the story through this person's eyes as he or she experiences it and only knows what he or she knows or feels. Literary device. The literary device used in this story are flashback symbolism and irony. The whole story is actually a flashback. There is mention of the Montresor's armed with the motto Nemo mi impune lecesse, with the meaning no one attacks me with impunity. And this is a symbol of what Montresor feels towards Fortunato is symbolism. For irony, this paragraph shows the exact opposite of the hidden anger of Montresor for Fortunato. Is come, I said, with decisions. We will go back. Your heart is precious. You are raised, respect, admired, beloved. You are happy as it once always. You are a man to be missed. For me, it is no matter. We will go back. You will be ill. And I cannot be responsible. Besides, there is Lucrece. And then the for them. Revenge. The story revolves around getting revenge for an insult. Deceptions. The story is also about the power of deception. Montresor tries successfully to draw Fortunato into the catacombs to carry out his revenge. He succeeds in concealing his real intention behind the mask of friendship and courtesy. For conflicts, the conflict here is internal, a struggle within oneself. A person must make some decision, overcome pain, quiet their temper, resist an urge the of man vs man or Montresor vs Fortunato. The leading character struggles with his physical strength against other men, forces of nature or animals, and also man vs himself or herself, or Montresor vs himself. The leading character struggles with himself or herself with his or her own soul. Ideas of right or wrong, physical limitations, choice.
The fourth content is the issue in the case of Amontillado. There are several issues in this work based on the way how to read work literature, which is about first reading across time. This story represents a reversible time travel, when Montresor informed that this crime occurred 50 years ago, and no one knows about it. After that incident, the significant time travel between events and event narrative makes the narrative even more unreliable. Montresor uses Fortunato's subjective experience of humiliation to call himself the judge, jury, and executioner in this style, which also makes him an unreliable narrator. The second issue is about going abroad, where the long journey saw when Montresor attempts to take revenge on Fortunato by intending to kill him. By inviting Fortunato to go down to the catacombs through the light to come to Amontillado's storage. Okay, that's all from us. We apologize if there are any mistakes. Thank you for attention. Bye bye.